But what about this Trey Lance character? I mean, he's kind of a dark horse.
Yeah.
People don't really know much about him. He played in North Dakota State. He played one season. There's like 6 pictures of him in this photo database that I use for Sports Illustrated. I keep recycling them. It's like they must not have known that he was going to be good. Would it surprise you if the big surprise on draft, because the Niners always move in silence, no one really ever predicts their moves, if the big surprise they have up their sleeve is Trey Lance at number 3?
Here's something that's interesting. I love Trey Lance. I've been on your program saying the same thing, as well. Here's interesting thing. I wouldn't be surprised if Trey Lance is the pick at 3, if Justin Fields is the pick at 2.
Okay.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out.
Okay. No, I'm with you. Tell me. Yeah.
So I don't believe that the pick at 2. I think the pick at 2 is pretty much written in Sharpie at this point. Zach Wilson.
Okay.
But
that's what everyone's telling me.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's just say, because we don't know anything, let's just say the NFL draft comes and Justin Fields is the pick at 2.
Yeah.
Well, for me, that kind of feels like, well, my consolation prize is Zach Wilson. Great. I don't think that the 49ers think like that.
Okay.
I don't think they do. So let's just say Fields goes 2. I think the pick becomes Trey Lance at 3.
Okay.
And not because of the pro day or anything like that. Like I said, with how they're implementing a lot of Shanahan things in there, so they can watch him do that, and it's closed off to the media, so it's not we'll get it secondhand. I just think that when you're talking about the way that they view Lance, from what I believe, with the way that they view Lance, I don't know if Zach Wilson was ever really that high on their board. I know 49er fans like him, even though, look, again, if I had to pick and Justin Fields went second, it's Zach Wilson. I'm running the card.
Yeah.
I'm running it up to get Zach Wilson. I'm just telling you, I don't know if the 49ers believe that. And I would not be surprised if Justin Fields went 2, Trey Lance was 3. Now, Zach Wilson goes 2, it's Justin Fields, and it's not Trey Lance. I doubt it. I completely doubt that.
Okay.
So,
what could push Zach Wilson down in the Jets' mind, or particularly in the Niners' mind?
I don't know if it's going to put. Yeah, well, I mean, it might be the shoulder, but maybe the Jets are just enamored with Justin Fields. Maybe they just
seems like a lot of people are.
Right, but it has nothing to do with the pro day. Like, again, the pro day shouldn't have swung you one way or the other. I just like posting clips because people get upset. I think it's hilarious. But
all I know is that Zach Wilson has a surgically repaired shoulder. Justin Fields doesn't. Justin Fields had like 2 bad games against Northwestern Indiana. Zach Wilson had like 2 bad years where he was nobody. And all of a sudden he becomes Superman. Like, you could definitely justify taking Justin Fields number 2. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I can, I don't want to see it, but it could happen. And there is a world where that happens. Let's just talk through the hypothetical. So, like, that's the thing. If he goes at 2, then I think Lance is the pick at 3.
So let's talk about why the Niners might like Lance. I mean, what things about Lance do you think would appeal to Kyle and his dad in particular?
Well, the smarts, right? The pre-snap.
I think that's really important. I think when we see whatever the Wonderlicks are, that's going to be important. Whoever's up high, because whatever Jimmy was, it was pretty high. Apparently, wasn't enough. So I think they're going to want someone who's really gifted mentally.
I think it's more about, again, the pro style offense, and he was allowed to make pro reads. He was allowed to pre-snap reads, look around and make sure he made those reads and those checks, and he did those things again. Yes. And then when we talk about the concepts that are there, the leak throws and the RPOs and the bootlegs, all that stuff lines right up. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's you want to point to competition, sure, and that's a valid concern for sure. You want to point to how many throws he's had, sure, valid concern for sure. Yeah. But you can't deny what you see when he does throw the ball. You can see that ceiling. So I mean, I just think that the Josh Allen, Trey Lance comps is getting a little lazy and out of control now. But
Cam Newton's fair. Cam Newton's a fair comp.
That's all right. But the thing is when I listen to Kyle talk about Josh Allen and you hear him talk about, big, fast, strong and all that stuff, kind of feels like he's talking about Trey Lance as well too. So I just think that overall he's kind of changed the way that he's looking at it. So again, the only way the pick is 3 for me at Lance with Lance is if Fields goes 2, which I don't foresee. So this is a nice hypothetical to talk through, but this should just let you know that I think it's Fields or Lance at 3.
Fair. And one of the things that I like about Lance's fit with the 49ers is I think he can shorten his throwing stroke, and he's good at the little dump off screens, which you take for granted as like the easy stuff. But I kind of think about it in terms of like golf shots. Like that's the putting of playing quarterback, and he's good at that. Justin Fields, I think, he's great with the longer shots. His accuracy down the field is better than Lance's. better than Lance's.
And if you give Fields time, he'll pick you apart.
No doubt.
He will. He definitely will go through his reads and do it.
No question. But a big part of the Niners offense is screens. Quick throws, screens, dumps, all that stuff. And Lance really is good at that. Also, he's very comfortable with the play action, which actually Fields seems as well. So I could see the Niners looking at Lance and saying, he actually does fit our offense. He's a developmental guy, and sometimes it's hard to develop quarterbacks in this league, but we do have a mandate from Jed. He's in on it. He's given us extensions. He said we have time. Jimmy's still here. You could sell it, right?
Yeah, I mean, and you can. And again, I'll be fine. Look, I'm fine with any of the four. If Trevor Lawrence was there, whatever, I'm fine with any of those guys. I really am. So, again, just because I'm pro Fields doesn't mean that I'm pro Fields and nobody else. It's just about where the draft board is going to lie. And I believe Zach Wilson is going to go too. Pretty much feels like it's very close to being a done deal. And then, Justin Fields would be my pick at 3. But, let's see. We're going to have to wait for draft day to find out.
It sounds like it's close to being a done deal in New York, but it's not. And they're waiting on one thing. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Yeah.
I agree.
Yanni Vander Balen says, if we can somehow bundle Jimmy G and Armstead for a late first or early second, would our choice at number 3 overall change?
Don't think so. I mean, because they moved up to 3. They moved up to 3 with somebody in mind already. I don't think that would. I mean, Jimmy and Armstead.
You're supposed to, right? If you've mortgaged the future, it's not for a poo-poo platter of things you might like. It's for a target, right?
Yeah, you realize that you can get whoever you can get at that spot, and I think that's it, really.
That's it. Thanks for the question, though. Good question.
Absolutely.
Holger Bitter says, my theory for Trey Lance, look at the quarterbacks the 49ers got, all replacements for Jimmy. Keep him 1 year with the backups and let Lance learn and get used to the NFL, but has Kyle the guts to make that move? Well, as we said, I mean, he's got some rope from ownership.
Mm-hmm.
But
Kyle doesn't have the guts to make that move if Fields is on the board. That's the way I look at it for me.
It's hard to take Lance over Fields, right? It's hard to justify that one.
If Fields is the pick, then he's starting week 1, in my opinion.
Yes. And Lance isn't.
Nope. And look, I love Trey Lance. And, I think there would be some sort of success, but I would love to see him sit 1 year. I really would.
Even the people who are most optimistic and enthusiastic about Trey Lance say, yeah, he's probably not ready right now.
I was ready to have him be out there week 1 until I started, observing a little bit more, watching more. And I was just like, yeah, you know what? Perfect world would be 1 year of him sitting and learning the system.